Hey, good morning. It is Saturday, April 3rd. This is today's video devotional on an exceptional love, or the exceptional love. The verses for today comes out of the book of 1 John chapter 4, verses 15 through 21. And it reads, "Whoever confesses that Jesus is the Son of God, God abides in him, and he in God. And we have known and believed the love of God, the love that God has for us. God is love, and he who abides in love abides in God, and God in him. Love has been perfected among us in this, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment, because as he is, so are we in this world. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out all fear, because fear involves torment. But he who fears has not been made perfect in love. We love him because he first loved us. If someone says, 'I love God,' and hates his brother, he is a liar. For he who does not love his brother whom he has seen, how can he love God whom he has not seen? And this commandment we have found from him, that he who loves God must love his brother also." As I was debating on what to do today, and this morning even, thinking about this Easter holiday that we make such a big production, and the Easter bunnies and the chocolate eggs and the bark bark Easter bunny, right, all that stuff. My life has changed so much in the last year or year and a half since I've really walked into a different existence with God, in that I stopped withholding from him. I stopped keeping him at an arm's distance, and I started walking, truly walking, in a newness of life. Now, your story's probably not too different than mine, and that is that you grow up a lot, especially here in the South. We grow up in church. I grew up in a Southern Baptist church and was saved at the age of 12. At 16, felt called to preach, and due to circumstances beyond my control, I witnessed some things that weren't so good, and in that I decided to walk. I experienced the biting of the sheep, the church, and how they were so judgmental, and so many other things that I experienced, and I said I didn't want anything to do with it. And then I started questioning my own faith, and I have a degree in philosophy. My dad refers to it as a BA and BS. And so I studied a lot of man's philosophies. In fact, my emphasis was on the religions of the world. And so I studied a lot of different religions, proclaimed other religions. My senior paper was written on trying to unify all religions, because they had roughly 5 basic truths in the 7 major religions of the world, and we needed to cling to that. And so what Satan had meant for evil, God then turned around and used for good. He had given me a heart for unity within the body, and to see people united. My greatest influences, one of them is Martin Luther King Jr. I absolutely adore the messages that he taught and the things he shared, and about loving beyond skin color, and understanding that we are each part of something so much bigger than each of us individually, and the importance of our recognition of that. And then, so in thinking about this and trying to say what I was going to say today, I love how God does this, I encourage each of you guys, man. I just was so overwhelmed with what God had given me to write this morning. And so for my Facebook friends, I've posted that in my notes. You can go to rallythetroops.org and get the written devotional. And I greatly encourage you to do that. I'm telling you, if there's one message that, if you found any truth in any of the things that I've shared, if there's one message my heart longs for people to hear, it is the message that I wrote out today. And it is this, that humankind, in all of our beauty, in the beauty of mankind, there's much that we can look at and say, this is so good. But the reality is, even the best that we have to offer is incomplete. I think about the different types of love as I studied in philosophy. You had eros, which is the erotic love, the sexual love, it's a physical exchangement of love, right? So that's eros. Then you have phileo, which is brotherly love, right? Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. So philia and phileo is a Greek word there, and that just means a love for mankind, one for another. And then you have hesed, which hesed is a Hebrew word also used in the Greek, but the Hebrew tradition of the word is basically the love of God that he had towards the children of Israel. And that is that he was committed to them. He said, "These will be my people." So by his commitment, or by his word, he was held to love them. Not much unlike our marriages that we walk away from. But it's that same commitment process. When we go through a marriage ceremony, we are making a commitment of love. Now, all of these loves are good. They're all necessary for humankind to exist peacefully with one another. But they are all incomplete. God has an agape love for us. And agape is a love that expects nothing in return. A love for something it is only known by the divine. And we can't have it without him in our hearts. And 2 Peter, I believe, chapter 1 verse 4 says that then we are to become partakers in his divine nature. When we become his, just as we saw earlier in the book of 1 John there, if God abides in us, then we also abide in him. We are partakers in his divine nature. And yet we settle for human love only. We settle for human's definition of love and standards of love, and that is so incomplete of what God has for each one of our lives. Now, how can I say this? Because, or why is it so important? Why is my heart so bent towards this message? And it is this. For years in my marriage, I've been married for 12 years now. For years in my marriage, I loved my wife out of a hesed love, out of a commitment. And she used to always ask me, "Why do you love me? What do you love about me?" There was so much insecurity there, and I thought that it was because she was just an insecure person. But what I didn't realize is that it was because I had produced that insecurity within her. I had loved her out of a commitment to love her. And so those things that I liked, they would make me angry, but yet I held strong to my commitment. Now, that was a good thing. It was a good thing. It held my marriage together from my end. But it's incomplete. I'm to love beyond myself. I'm to love in a way that only God can love. And I can only do that if I have the love of Christ in me. Now, if I have that love of Christ in me, then I'm not supposed to settle for an incomplete love anymore. I can have expressions of an erotic love with my wife. I can have that sensual love. I can have hesed love in my commitment to others. When I give my word is a bond. I keep it. I can have a love of philia. I can have a love for a brotherly love for mankind, in that I will outreach my hand and help everyone I can. But if I settle just at that level, then I'll never enjoy the expression of a complete love, a full love, that can only be given by Jesus Christ. So we have to confess and accept, and when we accept, then it is our charge. Because we have received so much, we then should be an expression of that love for others. So, I'll finish by saying this. Live the life that Christ gave of himself for us to be able to live. Rally the troops. Be blessed this Easter weekend. Enjoy the time with your family. Enjoy the time with other loved ones. If you're not with someone else that you can't be with somebody that you're giving your love away to a family or friends, then go out and bless somebody else. Go out and give to a homeless. Go out and extend an arm or an outreach of love to someone that wouldn't expect it. Be blessed. Have a great weekend.